I've just spent the majority of the video talking about what my life has been like with the Pokemon franchise so far, and now joining me to talk about where we think the future of Pokemon will go to, I welcome you Squirtle1110, aka Sean.
Hello, everybody. That's probably not going to be my name when this video airs, but it's fine. You guys will find me somewhere, probably.
And on my right, you have Shnack, aka Matthias, aka the best editor in the world.
What's poppin'? It's me. I'm in the video. Here to talk about my opinions and stuff and my thoughts and general feelings. It's great to be here.
So, love to hear it, love to see it. So, okay, so we know by now, who knows if the Directs come out, maybe Diamond and Pearl remakes, maybe Pokemon Snap's coming out in a month, but where do you guys see the future of Pokemon going?
Matt, you want to go first?
Is
that a no?
Is there such a freaking... It's such a... You never know. I feel like, okay, we talk like near future, Gen 9. If we want, that's where I'm going to start. Gen 9, right? Because I don't know about Diamond and Pearl or Let's Go, Johto, Hoto, Makanto or whatever. But I think Gen 9, I think they fall into this formula, right? Of like, we're going to make this awesome marketable mechanic and kind of just chalk what we did in the past. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I liked Mega Evolution a lot. But I think that... Like, we're gonna find ourselves with some, like, Gen 9 trailer of, like, introducing super mega power moves or something. Even though that's, like, literally Z moves. But, like, something that's not Z moves, that's not megas, that's not, Dynamaxing, and they're gonna scrap all that. Oh, do I like that idea? Not really. But I think that's what the path that they've kind of set for themselves is. I don't know. That's my take, though.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like giving candy when you think about it. You're not going to use last year's candy if you want to get more kids interested, right?
Yeah, just showing off the funny little thing. And there's nothing wrong. I thought, like, Dynamax was kind of cool. I mean, not from a battling perspective, it's a mess. Like, definitely. But, I mean, I can only speak for singles. I don't know about doubles. But, yeah, very much I like the candy metaphor because it is just kind of being like, look at them. They can be big now. Oh, they can do these, like, crazy anime moves. Wow. And I'm like, I'm fine with that, I suppose. I don't prefer it, but, like, I get it. They got to run a business, you know? They got to sell.
Of course, you know, it is what it is.
Sean.
What do I have to say? Well, I kind of agree with your point. Like, that's kind of been their thing for the past, like, what, 3 gens now? You gotta have that little marketing zest we gotta throw in the game, you know? So who knows what they do with that. But I think the thing that's really got my mind wondering is, like, how they're gonna handle this whole limited dex situation they got going on in the future. Because, like, how are they gonna handle that going forward? Are they gonna... Is, like, each gen gonna have a different... decks and, like, different Pokemon we can choose from? Like, are we gonna have different Pokemon next gen? Like, Pokemon that weren't in Sword and Shield are gonna be in next gen, and some other Pokemon are gonna be taken out? Like, how's that gonna work? Or are they just gonna drop this entirely and they're just gonna go back to the national decks because everyone yelled at them and they don't want to piss people off anymore? Who knows?
No, exactly. Like, I mean, see, the issue with the limited Pokedex is it's a good idea, and maybe it'll work for this generation, but not in the future. Some people don't have their favorite Pokemon in the game. You know, Absol only just got added in Ground Tundra. Truth be told, I didn't even know that it wasn't in the game.
I mean, like, that's the thing, right? Because as time keeps going on, they're just going to keep adding more and more Pokemon into the game, right? And, like, are they really gonna... Like, I know people don't like it, but it kind of makes sense for them to, like, to keep cramming all these Pokemon into the game. I feel like... I mean, it's already been kind of going on for a while, but I feel like so many Pokemon in the game is going to kind of, like, push people away, you know? They'll be like, oh, there's too many to keep track of, man. Like, this is getting ridiculous. So, like, I get where they're coming from, like, trying to shrink the number down a little bit so it's a little more manageable for people. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it's a very polarizing decision, obviously. We all know how that turned out when they announced that. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's a kind of tough spot for them to be in right now. Like, how are they going to handle that going forward?
I think they're definitely. I think they're gonna keep doing it, and there's a lot of reasons for that. For one, it's less work.
Yeah.
You know, from the businessy side of things. And also, disclaimer, I'm going to talk about these things. I don't know that much about business. I think these are just basic concepts that, like, make sense to me. So if I'm wrong, somebody tell me, because that happens a lot. Anyway, I think it just makes sense, though, because, Sean, you make that point of, like, they don't want to put too much, because that's scary. You know, if I'm a new person, if I'm a new little 6-year-old gamer, I feel like the idea of, like, trying to remember 1,000 mons, like, the joke has become that they're really afraid of reaching that 1,000 number, because, like, after Gen 5, you know, they're like, all right, we're going to start adding, like, 60 Pokemon and 70 Pokemon each generation, because I feel like they're really not trying to reach that, like, quad digit number.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of overwhelming. But I think having that, like, limited decks per generation makes sense, because it's less work too. They don't have to model that much. They can focus more on animations. Am I right?
Yeah, because we all know.
Nah, but for real.
We all know that the
for real.
most lucrative company in the world, they need less work hours, obviously, less time to get all this working, you know.
And I think while the backlash was really bad in the end, wasn't Sword and Shield still like one of the best selling ones or something? I don't know. This one, I could look it up right now.
It sold pretty dang good.
It didn't flop. Like,
nah.
Whether or not the thing I gotta remind myself too is, like, this is a Japanese company. Do they really care that much of what the 20-year-old, like, Aussie and Americans think, you know?
No, exactly.
Probably not that much.
No, they really care about, like, Japan, and in Japan the vibe is you gotta keep introducing something new. Like, you can't go, yeah, but at the same time, you know, Gen 5 had 156 Pokemon, Gen 6 had 68 or 69, but like
yeah, it was like 72 with the DLC, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're correct.
And then Gen 7 had about like 70, but it had a large regional dex of like 500. It's getting to the point where maybe there are some concepts they want to revisit, but like, you can't keep making the same type of Pokemon. So eventually you want to add a new version of the animal into the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did for Black and White, because, like, you know, the whole thing with Black and White, like, was for the main game. Not until post game there wasn't any of the old Pokemon back, and so, like, they kind of got to make new versions of like new takes on old Pokemon concepts. Like, in the past you had Zubat, but now they got Woobat, and used to have Geodude, but then they made Roggenrola, you know, like that type of thing.
And see, look, and if the internet was anywhere as prolific as it is now, that would have gone much more backlash.
There was still some backlash about it at the time, I feel like.
There was a lot.
Dude,
yeah.
And that's one thing, Gen 5 people really turned around, and that's just because of what happened with Gen 6 to 8.
I always, Gen 5 got, like, I remember even when it came out, I didn't like it, but I think I was like 12 years old, so I think my opinions don't really matter that much. Like, what did I know?
Bro, I must have the opposite thing. Like, yeah, I think Gen 5 also came out when I was 12, but I loved it. And I loved Black 2 as well. Like since then, I don't think any other Pokemon game has overtaken Unova for me.
I don't know, I definitely, I love them a lot now. But, like, I remember back then when they came out, I was totally on my high horse being like, oh, this is Pokemon Jellicent. He's just like Pringle's Tentacruel. Like, he's stupid. Or, like, Ferrothorn's just Fortress. Like, what? And, like, while that is, yeah, those are still true. And it's not, I guess, preferable. Because, you know, you'd rather have, like, original designs and whatnot that are, like, not kind of just copy and paste it. But yeah, I look back at them very fondly. They were very solid games. I don't know. My personal take too is I have no idea how to rank generations now. I kind of just am like, oh, they all have flaws. They all do things good and whatnot.
It's the same thing. Like, let's say Kanto. Everyone loved Kanto when we were younger. But then again, it's also a byproduct of nostalgia. Game Freak always rehashing it. So I think that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic, you kind of have to wonder, like, how, like, is because I feel like it's, like, now people, like, the general consensus on Sword and Shield is, like, it's not very good. Like, it's just kind of but, like, yeah, I wonder if that look on it is gonna change in the future, kind of like how it did with Black and White. I don't know.
I think about that a lot. Yeah, like, how will it age and whatnot, because everything, I feel like every new game, everyone's like, oh, this is stupid, whatever, and then whatever gens, like 2 or 3 gens prior, whatever the internet, like the 16-year-olds of that time grew up with, that's when everyone's like, yeah, that game was good. Because back when Gen 5 was coming out, everyone was like, oh yeah, Gen 3 was cool. But then back when Gen 3 was coming out, everyone was like, no, this one stinks. Gen 1's cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to repeat. But I do think Gen 8 was, like, kind of a flop, because, like, there was this expectation for growth to, like, put in all this stuff. and they didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
maybe
it's like
if Pokemon doesn't progress, we might look at it fondly.
yeah, because it was such a big like transition. It was like we have a main game on a home console for the first time, and like I feel like a lot of people, myself included, were kind of expecting a lot out of that, and they didn't really deliver. It just kind of felt like more of the same, you know?
Yeah. But also too, I feel like the fans are so like
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
High-
Not low maintenance. What's that?
Everyone's got like
You cut out there.
everyone's got like such high expectations. Like we think we know what we want. Truth be told, most fans don't know.
Wait. You
I'm
talking about
actually-
we? You definitely not talking about me, big dog. Couldn't be.
I'm
Couldn't be
not
talking about me.
No.
I was actually making the opposite point. I think the fans have so low expectations that, like, you know, everyone was like, "Oh, it's a free roaming camera! Oh my god!" They've been doing that since the N64. They've been doing
Yeah.
that since N64. We still don't have voice acting. They have that. They've been having that on Persona for years now.
And
Like,
3, to be fair, that game's not entire. Oh no, it is. Yeah, but anyways, no, that's the thing. Well, I think it's more the finicky. I think finicky is what I'm looking for. Because a lot of people in the community don't like change, but they also expect change.
Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird because everyone does kind of have like this take of like, I know what will fix the franchise. Let's do this, this, and that. And then like you look up another video and everyone's like, I know what's gonna fix the franchise. And it's like, what are you talking about? Why does everyone have all these differing opinions? Like, build the story or get rid of the story. I don't know. It's just become this weird like echo chamber of a bunch of people talking. No one really listening, if that makes sense. I don't know. I also just think people forget too that like this is a kid's game and that's where they get a bulk of their sales. So they don't really.
I mean, well,
need
that
to
is true,
cater
but
to
also
us.
like I think it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that like now like since Pokemon's been around long enough that like people who grew up with it are like grown up. So now like I would say a pretty sizable amount of Pokemon's audience is like people in their 20s, you know, like us, you know, like
Right.
It's
And
like-
some people have kids now. They're teaching their kids Pokemon, but like,
yeah.
but the weird thing is, you know, that the advertisings are not going towards the core audience, unless you're talking about competitive. Like, they're specifically taking different parts of the games and going, this is for you, well, this is for the younger audience, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird because they are kind of like they do kind of like section the game into these different parts. Like they try to cater to different audiences, but then like I feel like those specific parts, then if they don't appeal to you, they just kind of come out feeling kind of empty. You know?
It's why it's why I think like stuff like the Pokemon musical and Pokestar Studios and all that, like they were interesting ideas, but they never really latched on. Like,
That's a
and I think-
spicy take that people in the comments are gonna disagree with.
I love those, but like that's the thing is they always swap that thing out. Like contests did really well, and I think the musical was them trying to like do something different. And I'm just trying to think. Did Gen 6, 7, or 8 have something similar?
They brought contests back in ORS.
They had a me. You could pet your mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Poke
me
dogs.
and then Pokemon Camp. So like, they've slightly twisted it.
Yeah, but I feel like those little side things never like were
They
the
never-
real appeal to like most people. Anyways, they're just kind of a thing to do.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas I think the contests were the only one with like the real impact because that was in the anime and that was also the like story rides. They brought it back for Oris.
Yeah, but like they didn't
They really-
keep with it after ORS. Like, they just brought it back for like the nostalgia, you know? Because they're like, well, we had contests Ruby and Sapphire, so we gotta bring it back, right?
But at the same
They
time,
redesigned this whole meta just for it to be trash. Contest, bro. What even?
bro. And then on the flip side, oh yeah, nah, we're gonna stick with the Battle Maison. Battle Frontier coming never.
That's tough, bro.
That was epic.
Bro, that was when I thought, okay, you know we had the Delta episode?
Yeah.
I really thought that that's when they were gonna start doing DLC. because Horus was lined up to have a few different episodes, I think.
Yeah, didn't they have like a sign in the Battle Frontier or something that said like Battle Tower coming soon or something like that?
Yep.
I think that was the screw of the fans, honestly, because like
That's so messed
totally.
up.
exactly, like it makes you think, like they do this all the time. Every single game, they'll always swap something out, and whenever they remake, like I'd say Heart of Silver, but that one's different because I know the Battle Frontier was in Platinum, but there was already the Battle Tower as part of it, so.
I don't know, man. I feel like I really do feel like that. I mean, like we all know, like we all saw with Sword and Shield. Like I don't think Pokemon sales are gonna like drop anytime soon. I mean,
Yeah,
they have dropped a little since like when they started. Like obviously, they haven't sold as much since Red and Blue, but like you know, it's gonna keep doing well. Is my point, right? But I do feel like if Pokemon really wants to keep I guess keep the attention of like the more hardcore audience, like I do feel like they need to change something up because I feel like I mean this might just be me, right? This might be just how I feel, but I think like lately, like especially the past like I don't know like 4 or 5 years, I feel like people have been like really like taking more notice of how samey the games have been, and like I feel like people are ready for something kind of different. Like I don't know how much they should change the game up because I know like we talked about earlier, like if they change something, like it's going to be very polarizing for some people. So I don't think they probably shouldn't like do something completely different, but I do feel like they kind of need to start innovating a little because I mean this franchise truly has barely evolved in the past 25 years. Like if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like they don't need to though.
They don't need
I
to
mean,
because
for
like I said, they're
quality-
going to keep selling. But I feel like
Yeah.
people are gonna kind of start getting sick of like the same old, you know. I feel like it's in their interest to change it up, but I mean, of course, they don't need to. They're gonna still make money regardless.
They're yeah, I don't know, cause they are like the biggest valued like property.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, because that's the thing, right?
So I
Because
feel like-
Pokemon is so much more than just a game, right? It's a whole brand. So you gotta take into consideration like all the other stuff that's attached to it, like it's not just gonna be like the decisions of like the like people working on the games. It's gonna also have to take into account the decisions of like people running the company and stuff like that, and like the much
Yeah.
bigger bigger picture stuff going on with the whole series in general.
including like TCG.
TCG, anime, merchandise,
the
all
show,
that. Yeah.
because that's where the real money is.
Yeah.
Truth be told. The
Exactly.
game-
Yeah. The games don't even make that much money. I'm pretty sure games make the least money compared to all the rest of those things, like merch, cards, the show. I think those all make more money than the games.
But they need the games to
To
funnel-
make more shows and cards and merch. Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah, that's why there's a whole crunch again. That's why it is noticeable more recently, whether they've been in crunch or not, because like that's probably where the decision to cut out half the Pokemon came from, because they got a deadline. They have to release the Pokemon games every November, and they have off years every 3 years. Like they're working on Gen 9
So,
right
like,
now.
The games, they're not the least. They're the second most with 17 billion this year. But the merch was 61 billion. So you are correct in that.
Yeah. The merch.
Marginally, it's wild.
Merch
But yeah,
is where
I
the
mean,
money's at.
merch is always the biggest thing that brings in things. That's why some TV shows are some animated TV shows are greenlit and some aren't, because they're like, well, this isn't marketable. We can't make merchandise out of this.
Yeah.
It's always why they rebrand the companions every time now. Ash gets a whole new team but Pikachu.
Yeah.
It's what it simply comes down to. It's like, let's say, and they design certain Pokemon in that way that they know that they're going to be fan favorites, and the others they design because there's like the inspiration hits them, and they're not the ones that necessarily catapult.
Yeah. I don't know. It is kind of starting to feel more like the games are just the launch pad for all the other stuff, like the merch and everything. Like the games are just the engine that keeps that going.
It's why you can say, like, you notice, like, Zelda or Metroid or whatever, they constantly get delayed if something's going wrong.
Yeah, because they can delay, but Pokemon can't do that.
Exactly. No matter how much fans cry saying, look, I mean, Nintendo's mantra is a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. But I think the Pokemon Company takes that into account.
Yeah, because what happens if they delay the game? Then they gotta delay the show and the new set of cards, and like it would just be a mess.
Like, they would lose money. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
a lot of money.
But that's why they have, like, I think 2 to 3 years on and a year off before the new gen. Like, at this point, we're halfway through Gen 8 already. Because generations are only 3 years.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah.
2022 will be Gen 9.
Yeah. I don't know, like, because I've heard people like kind of call out, be like, put more time in the games, but like you said, they can't really. I think the only way they could do that is if they just kind of stopped doing the remakes, like, and they put that time towards the new gens, you know. But I don't think they're gonna do that because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not super familiar with the numbers, but I'm pretty sure the remakes make a lot of money because, right, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, let's not kid ourselves. It's just pandering, right? It's just like, hey, remember this game? We made it again. You want to buy it again?
It's there. Buy it, please.
And it
Exactly.
costs, and it makes more money to remake a game than to just re-release a game. And not only that, they have 2 development teams. Team A will work on the new generation. Team B will work on the side stuff. Like, but funnily enough, with Gen 8, it was the B team that made Sword and Shield, and the A team made Little Town Hero, which did not do well.
Yikes.
I forgot about that.
Poor Game Freak can't make anything that's not Pokemon. It's so tough.
They tried, man.
Bro, the one other game they made that's not Pokemon is, what was it, the Drill game? Drill Dozer?
The
Yeah, I know.
Drill Dozer.
Little Pink Bunny.
It's a really good game, but it's so gimmicky. It's hard to play on, like, it's hard to play unless you've got the physical Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I never touched that.
Mopo not about that life.
I play Pokemons. I don't know nothing about no drill. Unless there's an Exca in front of it, baby.
Ooh.
Sir.
I suck. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm like a mature, I'm aged on this topic. I feel like I went through my whole phase where I cried about this stuff. Not actually, of course, but you know, like whined about it. Now I'm just like, like they're doing what they're doing. We got other games to play, you know?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But, see, look,
Like Showdown.
oh yeah. I mean, what's the Pokemon Company gonna do? Shut down Showdown to make us only play through VGC?
I'll be so upset.
I might actually never buy a game again if they did that. If they did that to me, I'd be so hurt. I'd be on tilt.
Oh yeah, no, they'll actually see a definite dip in sales. Because, like, dude, the people who can actually afford to play Pokemon games are definitely the people in their 20s. Especially if they make content, you know? Like...
Bro, they're a Japanese company. They don't care about that.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Like... But I do think...
Dude, I don't know. As a kid, I bought way more Pokemon games than I have now.
That, like... I want to say, I almost... Like, I skipped Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And I nearly skipped Pokemon Moon. Nearly.
Yeah, I skipped out on the DLCs. I didn't get the Ultras. But as a kid, like, I had Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold. I had, like, the spin-offs and stuff. That is not the case nowadays.
Bro, they don't even make much spin-offs anymore. It's just Pokemon Go, and, like, I mean, they released
Yeah,
Super
true.
Mystery Dungeon, which...
That was banging.
Yeah, I grew up in Mystery Dungeon and Ranger. And you can't do anything with Ranger now unless it's like, we'll make a cheap tie-in mobile game. And I almost hope they don't.
Actually, on the topic of spin-offs, this might have already been confirmed by the time this video goes up, but I think I heard something about them doing Detective Pikachu 2. So that's the thing.
There we go.
That's what the fans were waiting for.
Bro, the Detective Pikachu movie was, like, it wasn't a bad film. But I've never played
was.
the game. You know,
I heard it's pretty mediocre.
It's on Netflix New Zealand, so like, if I want to rewatch it, I can.
Dang.
But, but I mean, the story was middling. But like, dude, just seeing Pokemon done in live action, like, not only was it done super well, and they felt realistic, they also used Pokemon that weren't like the most like they have Comfey in that movie. Bro, who's
They
favorite?
do?
Yeah, Comfey is in the movie.
I love Comfey.
Dude, they got Torterra in the film. They got
My
Greninja,
boy.
Ditto, Mewtwo.
Dudo.
Dude, like, I mean, for what it's worth, yeah, the story could have been better, but just seeing Pokemon on screen, dude, 5-year-old me would like lose it.
When are the games gonna look like that, Game Freak? Ugh.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Where's my open world live action?
Bro, where's my Pokemon game in every single region?
Where's my
Pokemon stat tables, Game Freak?
We solved it. We now know how to fix all the issues.
We've
This
done
is
it.
Great.
We did it, gamers.
We did it.
They should hire me.
I can make better business decisions than
I
they
will
could.
fix Pokemon myself.
Need to know hire this man.
Because that we all know Pokemon needs is a 24-year-old neckbeard running the show.
Whoa. I'm 22.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh.
Oh.
I wasn't naming name. I was just talking about nondescript person
Gotcha,
complaining
gotcha.
on Twitter.
Placeholder.
Oh, I mean, if
Yes,
the shoe
sir.
fits. I mean, is there anything else we can tap into?
I don't know. I feel like we kind of have said our piece.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sweet as. So, hopefully everyone watching has enjoyed this video. Subscribe, check these two things out, and
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We on the comeback, boys.
boy,
Something like that.
yeah. Peace.
Deuces.
We out.